tell me who you are. Tell me a little bit about yourself, because some people know you, some people don't. Like, give us a little.
My name is Stacy Mills, and I'm a widow. It'll be 4 years November the 5th. I have two daughters, one who is 24, she's a teacher, and a little girl who is 16, not little, my little girl who is 16, and she's in 10th grade. I teach senior fitness classes and help with whole fitness and love that, and I'm so honored that God let me be a part of that, and the things like going to Jordan and stuff, I just think that's really fun. Even this, I just think it's exciting to share what he's doing in our hearts and lives.
Yeah. Well, and for those of you who don't know, Stacy has been with us since the beginning. Like, you came like to second class.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to celebrate 3 years. So she's been a faithful member of our community, but also she's now an instructor, which we love having her on the team. So with our theme, we're talking about wilderness, and what would you say when you hear that word? What does that mean to you?
To me, it means like a journey with God, and it's difficult. You know, the wilderness is not like where there's a path carved out. Maybe you're going to find your way through with the Lord. Maybe you're going to figure some things out along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe something like that. Just, you might be wondering why you're having to deal with this, wondering what, Lord, are you trying to teach me through this? Lots of things like that.
Yeah. What would you say is your wilderness story? Maybe in the past, or it could be now, or...
I think my wilderness story is grief, and it's been the hardest thing I've had to deal with in my life so far. I've had a probably pretty easy life, a wonderful life, honestly. And when your soulmate gets taken away, your best friend, your decision maker, the father of your children, the person that you want to run to and tell everything that happens is gone, that's just been hard.
Yeah.
But it's made me run to the Lord and trust him. And I would have trusted in Eddie until I lost him. And now I trust in the Lord. So I see him working through the wilderness. You know, he's in the middle, just like with the Israelites when they were wandering. He's in all of that.
Yeah.
Always.
So I haven't walked through grief like you have. What would you say is the hardest?
Not having him here to consult with things. Single mothering has been hard. That's a journey. My oldest was 19 and Caroline was 12 when we lost him. And so just the teenage years by myself has been hard.
Yeah. And so a lot of times we think wilderness wandering, and when I first saw it, I'm like, oh God, you're not there. I'm just out here wandering around, struggling, not knowing what to do, where to go. How has God met you during this season, or during the grief, or what stands out to you the most?
God has met me in his word. Probably when I felt most hopeless and helpless and didn't know what to do, I would run there and just read. And he has just shown me his faithfulness from the beginning to the end. He's shown me through things that have happened. He's showing me through even calling me to be a fitness instructor. That is never on my list of things to do. I'm actually going to speak at a widow conference on Saturday, and I'm going to talk about how he took me from dentistry to ministry, which is funny. It's funny because I did dentistry for like 20 years. I knew it backwards and forwards. I still know teeth. I love teeth. It's just what I've done for so long. But he took me out of what I knew very, very well and put me into something that I do not have a clue. I'm learning along the way, but he's teaching me and he's growing me, and the gospel preacher part of it's my favorite. You know, I mean, the fitness is good. I love the fitness. I love to come to class and stuff. And my ladies, I teach them fitness. We don't just sit and talk, but we do sit and talk too. But we love community. It's in the senior class, but which we do in whole fitness too. But he's just taught me to depend on him, to trust him, to run back to him when it sounds crazy, but I always tell you I love coffee. And I can tell when I'm sad and my heart hurts, I just want to run to Starbucks and have a cup of coffee. And God's like, you can't have a cup of coffee. It's not the cup of coffee. God doesn't care if you drink coffee or not, obviously.
Right.
I mean, you know, he doesn't mind that we have simple pleasures in life, but it's the running to. You know, I think I need a cup of coffee because my heart hurts. And he's like, come to me, not the coffee. You know, don't run to worldly things. Run back to me. And he's been my guide through the wilderness, like showing me that he's enough, because it doesn't feel like enough. When the person beside you is gone and it doesn't feel like enough, he's like, I'm enough. I'm all that you need. I'm everything. I can be your provider, your comforter, your friend, your husband, everything. Like, I can be anything you need to you. I can be that for you.
And I can say this because you're my friend, and she's not just saying this stuff just to say it, make it sound nice.
Right.
And you've been very honest with Eddie, and like I love your transparency from the day one that I met you. You tell me like today's hard.
Yes.
And I'm mad, or God has given me this truth or this community, and I love that about you, that you are so honest and open. But I can tell that the Lord is definitely priority in your life, and even though this wilderness is hard and struggling, just how He has come around you, and you are always such an encouragement to our team, and I think a lot of that is too is that you just tell us, this is my day, this is what's going on.
I can remember some of the first classes I came to, tears running down my face. Like I can remember things you said that resonated with my heart. I don't know if I'll ever forget that. And I can just remember tears, like I'm like doing this, like bicep curling or whatever, and just tears running down out of my eyes. Just truth of God, that He loves me and He was with me when it was so hard in the beginning. And it's not that much easier. I'm just learning to deal with what I've been the hand that I've been dealt. You know what I mean? And that a friend asked me the other day, she said, "Are you angry?" And I've never been angry because God is still sovereign. He's still in control. He knew all this was going to happen. I didn't have any heads up. I didn't have any heads up that this single mom thing was going to happen, that I was going to lose my husband. But it has been such a lesson, and Him drawing my heart to His through this. And some of my ladies in my class that have known me for a while, they were like, "Your faith was so strong." And I was like, if it was strong, it looked like nothing. Like, that's crazy to think that you could have thought your faith was so strong and it looked like nothing compared to what He's done in your heart and life in 4 years. It's crazy.
It's been 4 years.
It's November 5th.
Wow.
It's around the corner. Yeah.
And that's just an encouragement to me that, like, I cannot imagine walking through hard things without the Lord.
Me either.
And just to watch you press into Him and listen to Him and obey Him when you know it's hard. I mean, you lost your best friend, and then you stepped into new territory, becoming a fitness teacher, gospel preacher, and you're doing a great job at that. And just your dedication and faithfulness to this, you always encourage us. What is one thing or encouragement that you would say that you would love to give somebody that has is walking through grief right now? I will say your post, when we shared your post, it hit over thousands of views.
Wow.
And I did not realize how many people are walking through grief.
Me either.
And then when they were commenting, I was like, yeah, you're right. You lost so-and-so. And it's just, it's real. It's a real thing. And what would you say, like, what would your encouragement be to anybody walking through that? Like, first tell us what not to say and what to say. What are some things we can get real here? What's not say?
The hardest thing for me, and with losing my grandmother too, because my grandmother was such a big part of my life and my journey with Jesus, actually, because she pointed me to Jesus. She taught me about Jesus. She had dementia, so she wasn't the same person she was when I was younger, when we lost her. However, she was my heart and soul, and I just love her. So losing her has brought back a lot of the stuff with Eddie too. But that they're in heaven. I mean, we're very thankful they're in heaven. Heaven is wonderful, and we want to be there with them, but we're here. And our hearts are hurting and torn apart. And so though it's wonderful that they're in heaven, sometimes that is just so hard to take in. You know what I mean? Not take in. And I know that their heart is saying, we want you to feel better. We want to say this to make you find comfort, but it's just hard. I think that the best thing is to come alongside and encourage people and just say, I'm here for you and I love you. It's enough. Or I'm here if you want to talk. And sometimes you don't want to talk. There's a lot of things you don't want to say. Not say, but just not, I don't know how to explain it. You're not just going to pour your heart out to everybody. I think I can feel comfortable with you because you've known me pretty much along this journey. I feel comfortable with certain people, but certain people ask me, how are you doing? I'm like, good, yeah, I'm good. And then certain people ask me, and I'm like, you just got real. Like, I'm about to tell you, like, how it really is. The other Wednesday night at church, this lady looked at me, and she said, how are you doing? And I was just like, wow! And I just was like, my child's misbehaving, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, that might not have been what she was asking. She just wanted me to smile and say, everything is great. But it wasn't great that day. I was like, this teenager of mine is about to put me over the edge. And good kid. I mean, she's just a teenager, you know, and by herself. If my husband's here, all he would say is, straighten up. And she would straighten up. You know, I mean, it wouldn't take any more than that.
Yeah.
And so, but without him being here, it's hard. With my daughter getting married, you know, next May, it's going to be hard that he's not here. Now, all that comes rushing up with me. Like, I
Big
want to tell him he
milestones.
hasn't met Brent. You know, like, there's so many things with that. That's just making it really hard right now. So it's just a journey, and like you cross one hurdle and there's another one. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, whoo, we're at the 4-year mark. It's going to get better. And it gets better. I mean, He brings comfort and peace to your heart, but it doesn't go away. It's just not, and I think that's with your mom, with your grandmother, with anything. And even my grandmother, when I found that cookbook the other day and I posted on Facebook that she wanted chicken and dumplings, and I just realized, dusting my house, looking at the cookbook, like, oh, I never made her chicken and dumplings, and I'll never have that opportunity again. You know, those kind of things. And like Eddie, he doesn't get to see them get married. He won't see Caroline graduate high school. All those kinds of things are just so hard, you know?
Yeah, things that, well, even like, it could be big things like milestones, but even like the little things like
Oh,
chicken dumplings,
yeah.
you're like, whoa, that just came out of nowhere.
Yes, and that's how grief is sometimes. Like, I was just sitting there dusting my house. It was actually a really good day, and all of a sudden I'm like, and then I just get, you know, overwhelmed with emotion, and I'm just crying, and I'm like, and she's better. Like, I mean, heaven's better. She's whole.
Yeah.
I understand all that, but the fact that she's not here, she won't be at Courtney's wedding. Like,
Yeah,
she went
yeah.
from the guest list to the remembrance list. Like, that's crazy. And like, you know, no time. We went to Africa for 2 days. We stayed in Africa 2 days. We came home because she had passed. And so it's just a lot. And some people have lost more people in less time, you know, and I feel bad. I mean, my heart hurts for them, you know, because it's hard no matter who it is. It's hard if it's your husband, if it's your grandmother, if it's, I mean, lots of different things, you know.
Yeah, and it's just permission to be sad. Like, it's okay to be sad
Yes.
and grieve.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I appreciate you doing this, and thank you.
You're welcome.
I think it made it very encouraging for others to hear that they're not alone
No,
in this wilderness. So, there you go.